All right, welcome to another episode of the Black Excellence Club podcast. My name is Sakudini. I am the host, and I am on a journey from unknown to unforgettable. And today I have with me Chef Anthony Rowe. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Chef Anthony Rowe, owner of 3L Catering and Events, a Latin and Caribbean catering company, and I'm also owner of Edible Party Pack, Smoke Shop, and Munchies. Basically an infusion company for edibles, CBD, THC, Delta 8, all the above.
Okay, so what would you say is your backstory? Like, where did you start?
Where did I start? I'm going to go back not too long. I'm just going to go back to Philly. It was like really about 2017 when I really got into like the culinary field, and I was cooking in Philadelphia. I went to culinary school. I was working in a pizza shop, and then I got the opportunity. I got a scholarship to like go to like a culinary school like through the city. They were just offering out different programs, and I was in a halfway house at the time. So when I was at that halfway house, I was making food and selling it, and that's what kind of made me be like, okay, let me go to school and let me learn the fundamentals, basically. You know what I mean? So I can master this craft, because I was already having people paying for my food, and I didn't even, you know what I mean? And my goal was to make it taste good at the end of the day. Right. But yeah, so I went to school in Philadelphia. It was only like a 6-month program, but we basically did everything that you do in like college and stuff like that. We had professional chefs. We did a lot of on-job training. We had to cook in-house every day, and we had to go through like all the arithmetics and pass all the academic courses. And then we had to stage at the end, which is basically go out to a restaurant and work for them for like 2 weeks to a month. It depends, and they can pay you or they cannot pay you. That's the bad thing about the stage. Yeah, so after that, I graduated and started working at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That was a real great time for me. I experienced and learned a lot there from a lot of different chefs, because they had like every department in that hotel. So it was just a real good learning experience. After about a year and a half, I left there. I moved to Texas, worked in the culinary field still while I was out there, but things just wasn't working out. So I ended up coming back. And then in 2019, I started my catering company. I was doing a lot of pastries back then and still just working in the restaurant. Then 2020, right before the pandemic got bad, I moved to Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I was that's when I started dabbling in like the CBD products and venturing out into that and looking at what I needed to do to like get registered and certified and stuff. And basically I started getting my business set up then, and then the pandemic hit. But for us, people really still wanted the edibles and stuff at that point in time. So, you know what I mean? It kept us afloat, but there was the catering company, therefore it was non-existent. Right. So in 2021 is when like everybody in the area found out I really could cook. I got my business license in 2021 for where I'm at right now, and opened my business account and just started doing more catering events and working on building my catering team. That's my story as of now. So I'm the owner of Edible Party Pack, Smoke Shop, and Munchies. Like we have the license to sell like smoke apparel, merchandise, and CBD products, as well as THC products at certain events. As long as they're labeled properly and they go through the proper testing. That's what a lot of people need to know. Like if you're gonna do any type of edible products, you can get them tested properly by the state. This way, if you're at an event, everything can be labeled properly and accordingly. You know, you don't have to just do it and do it. If you want to know how to do it, that's how you do it, everybody. Because everybody thinks you need all this paperwork. But no, if you have your own business already, then you have certain licenses, like license to sell smoke apparel and smoke products, and you're working in the food industry, and you have your certifications as a chef, as a food expert, your ServSafe managerial, all the things you need to basically say, I know what I'm doing. And then you get it tested and you can bring it to specific events. It's still limited in the area, but it's good for specific events, especially because you know people are coming specifically for that product. So right now, as far as that's concerned, I've been focusing more on just doing the cannabis events. I just competed in the Canna Chef competition in Oakstown, PA, where I took first
Okay.
place.
You said you took
Um,
first place?
yeah, for my raspberry lollipop.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I won for my
Congratulations.
raspberry lollipop chicken. I make the best sauces. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hashtag sauce boss, 3L catering, lip smacking
Okay.
flavors, all that. So I've been focused on, I designed my website through GoDaddy around December of last year and just focusing on putting my sauces out. I'm actually renting this kitchen space out now at this bar just for about 2 weeks now and just really pushing my product, getting as much reviews as I can and pushing my YouTube channel and TikTok, everything to do things the right way and make it make sense. Because with
Hmm.
like the edible market, it's hard to market on social media. So that's why I'm just focused on more edible events and private events in that section and just really want to push the catering company. Because regardless of what I do, the catering company can go anywhere.
Right.
Um, so that's my story right about now. You know, I'm still working on piecing stuff together. I don't have my team all put together, but I do have two people that help me out at events every now and then. Um, and that's what I got going on right now, working on building this business up so I can sell food out this bar, hopefully connect with DoorDash or something like that soon.
Right. Right.
And keep building on these events. I got a lot of big events coming up. I got to get my vending fees ready. There's Reggae Fest, Juneteenth, July 4th, all these stuff. And they're having like so many events for Juneteenth. There's like Juneteenth on June 10th, Juneteenth on June 18th, and then Juneteenth on Juneteenth.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you definitely have quite a bit of a background. So I'm just gonna dig into it in different parts.
Okay.
Um, you started off saying you was in a halfway house when you was in school, or you that's where you started selling food, right?
hmm
Do you want to talk a bit about that or no? Is up to
Um,
you?
it's
It's up to
fine.
you.
I mean, no, I was incarcerated before for basically hustling in the streets,
Okay.
just selling drugs, nothing violent, no like gun charges, no theft, no killing, none of that stuff. I was just chasing the bag, chasing the money,
Just like
and the
everybody
lifestyle
else.
at that point in time, I would say, because um, yeah, and I did it for way too long. I'm gonna say about like 10 years, like
Okay.
through my 20s into my 30s. Did some time. Learned a lot from it. I will say that it was crazy
Hmm.
experiences, and you know, as I'm 36 now, and I thought about it the other day, like how much time I spent doing that versus how much time I'm spending doing what I'm doing now. Like if
Hmm.
I traded the time, I would be in a different place right now.
Right.
Because like regardless of where you're at, you're gonna go through your struggles, and like we're going through our struggles, but I still get up every day and do it. And basically, after being incarcerated a couple of times, and I just needed a direction. And when I saw how much people like were enjoying my food and stuff like that, and then I really decided just let me dedicate myself to something other than running the streets and
Hmm.
just trying to get the bag. You know what I mean? If I can dedicate myself to something else, that will bring the bag. And it did for a while and kept me satisfactory until 2019. That's when my grandma passed.
Okay. My
And
condolences.
yeah, so when my grandma passed, it was crazy. Like I was just all over the place. I was working extra cooking jobs as I was working my job. There was an app called Paired Pros where you could like work other jobs if you were qualified. So and I was just doing that. I was selling my pastries, registering my catering company. And when she passed, it was just like when we went to the funeral, everybody was talking about me. And it was crazy because I felt like, oh, why are they talking about me? You know what I mean? Like it was
Right. Right.
that's how I felt. So I had left my job and I was like, I gotta start my own company. I gotta do my own thing. So when they talk about me next time, I feel like, what I mean, I can validate everything they were saying.
Okay. So
Because
you
like
mean
I've
like
done a
you
lot,
were
but you want to hit certain goals so that
right.
way you
Right.
can be recognized properly, not just to be recognized. you gotta
So
accomplish
when
things.
you say they were talking about you, was that in a bad way or in a good way? Like,
No, they
look
were
how
saying
far
good
you've
things.
come, or
Yeah, they were saying good things. It was
okay,
just, I graduated culinary school. I
mm-hmm.
started working at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel.
Right, right, right. Okay,
I've done some. I've done music before. Um,
so it's more
yeah,
of a I'm proud of you talking about you type thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just trying to help me out in certain situations. Like
Okay.
she told the story about when I was doing music, how my grandma called her and asked if she got Kirk Franklin number. Like I need to get it to Anthony. You know what I mean? I got to help him out. How do I get him Kirk Franklin's number? You know what I'm saying? He over there doing
Right.
music. He need to be doing this gospel music. I gotta get him Kirk Franklin's number right now. Like she's like Grandma, I don't know Kirk Franklin, you know, like but it's just
Right.
the thought, the thought and everything was just like it just hit me like a ton. It's like, yo, you just gotta do more, because not just the fact that it's expected, but it's the potential is clearly seen and not
Mm-hmm.
just by her, but like everybody's acknowledging it.
Right.
So like I felt like I had to acknowledge it within myself, and the only way to do that was to establish something myself. Like David Shands always says, or some they said this one time in the podcast. Like think about when you're working, you're building someone else's dream.
That is true.
It's cool as chefs. Like we have to go through it because like you gotta learn. That's the best way to learn. School is cool, but when 300 people come in there, they start breaking all the rules. I'm telling you right now in that kitchen, you're talking about this guy get done. This need to be done right now. You know what I'm saying? Like like right
Right.
now, we got learn techniques and just strategies, ways to stay organized and keep everything flowing. Um, so yeah, I'm just that's where I was at right there in that moment.
Okay. So how did you go about so after your schooling and after working at the hotel, how did you go about starting your catering business? Like what were your first three steps that you made?
My first three steps that I made was I went down to City Hall in Philadelphia, and they basically was just like you got to go to pa.gov, and I registered my LLC name, and then I went down there to talk to them about a commercial liability license at the time,
Okay.
which wasn't really something I needed. um, it that like comes into play like with the building space and you using crop that's where like the commercial liability because you're going to be using like a commercial space or something like that. So like
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even operating anywhere yet, but I just
Right.
remember like they saying like yo you're going to need your commercial liability license and stuff like that. So the only thing I had done was like registered with the state and got my EIN number and my fictitious name. Um, After that, really, like I ended up moving because like me and my roommate like wasn't getting along and it just wasn't going anywhere. Like I felt like I was stagnant, and I had an opportunity out here in Allentown with a friend of mine who basically got me into this club, this after hours private spot where I
Mm-hmm.
could make food and sell my edibles. So after that, we was just working together, and we were doing well. You know what I mean? And I was basically using that as the crutch because like even though I was making edibles, I was still like cooking. I was like working on my pastries, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing strawberry cream cheese pound cakes and chocolate decadence cakes and
Okay.
salted caramel chocolate chip cookies. Like these aren't your regular things. Like
Yeah.
so, I'm still like I'm developing my pastry skills more. And a couple times I made some sauces, and that's when I started like messing with the sauces and really getting into developing sauces. Um, and then I did Latino. I think there was like a Latino and Black Latino Heritage Day in Harrisburg was like in the first events we did with my catering company,
Okay.
which was crazy. We did that and then we did an after party for the edible stuff.
What
But
was that experience like doing your first catering job? Like what was like your nerves? Like were you excited for it? Were you nervous?
I'm gonna be honest, like I'd be excited. I'm always nervous, like to a certain extent, like but like my excitement is my nerves when it comes to stuff like that. And only because like I know I have to show improve every time. Like, but I know what I'm capable of to a certain extent. Like when I was like working in the restaurant, like you kind of like you can look up to people, but then that could kind of cap you. So it's like, okay, like, yeah, he's good. He's so good. He's so good. It's like, wait a second. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You can be just as good or even better. You know what I mean? So like, it's like when you work in a company, it's like, okay, I want to be the manager, then the senior manager, and general manager, and the CEO. But what if the CEO only makes this much money? Are you going to cap yourself at that? So that was my thought process. You know what I mean? Like, not saying I was better than the chefs there or anything like that, but just creative wise, I wanted to do so many different things. Like I used to come in there weekly with different stuff for them to try, like pastries, because they were all like really crazy chefs, and I was there a while, so we also had like chefs that came through to help us out for events, big name chefs, and we were always doing crazy parties. And they actually put one of my pastries out at a party like where they were doing like $30,000 plates. But it's like that one I put out was crazy. I did like a hot cocoa cookie cup. It was crazy. It was crazy.
And they liked
It
it,
was
didn't they?
crazy. Like it was crazy. The whole
Yes.
cookie was a cup. It had the candy cane handle with like the not fudge, but it's like a chocolate in the middle and then a topping. It just looked crazy and it was creative. And like the servers started bringing it out. I'm like, oh snap, it looks so cool. All my stuff going out there like that. But it's moments like those too, you know. And it was just like that one sous chef that was there that night, and they were just putting out so much stuff. And it was, I brought a bunch, you know, and it was like, I mean, throw them out there. People, you know what I mean? I was like, for real, cool. Got some pictures, and that was it. But again, so like to say that, that's why when I left from there, like I just started doing crazy things. Like I was doing Swiss roll cakes. People was going crazy over those, and just really getting creative with everything. And then just started working on my sauces and stuff more, and started cooking more at more events. And because I did a big edible event, and when I went there, like everybody was asking for water and food. And I did well. It was like my first big one. You know what I mean? I did well. And I was like in my head, I'm like, yo, you'd have did better if you had some food with you. You know what I mean? So now every event I go to, you know what I mean, I have everything. That's always the plan, especially because even with the Cannabis Fest events, it doesn't make sense not to bring food. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you can do well just bringing your cannabis products and stuff like that, but people are gonna want to eat. And the last big one I did, the food was trash. I mean, I'm not gonna say no name. I ain't saying no company names. I'm not saying no. I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm saying we ordered from two different places, spent some money, and didn't eat any of it because it was trash. You know, and I'm just like, I can't do that to my peoples. As a can of chef myself, I need my peoples to experience some finger licking food while they getting they vibe on. You know what I mean? Like it don't make no sense to me. Like, and that's why a lot of people had flocked to me at first. Like when I first started out here, but there was like a lot of people's stuff just don't taste good. You know what I mean? They're just doing stuff in there. You know what I mean?
Right, and
And
just hoping
then
it tastes alright.
exactly. After a while, I kept saying to people, but people wouldn't notice until like I started doing like big events and wearing my chef coat, my chef hat, and stuff. And it was like, "Oh, you're a chef." I'm like, at the end of the day, that's why my stuff tastes different than everybody else's. I was making this stuff regular before I started infusing it. So like my goal immediately was to blend the two harmoniously, so that way you don't have a problem with it. If it's a certain type of herb, then you need to be making a certain type of dish that matches that. You know what I mean?
So when you say with your pastries and like, how were you selling your pastries at first? Like, were they
At
in the
first, I was just
store?
selling cookies,
Okay.
and then I went into pound cakes, and then Swiss roll cakes. And I was just in Philadelphia. Matter of fact, I had like 2 3 people from work, and they just start ordering like these. I do like 3 dozen cookies for like $25,
Okay.
and they get
So they
like
were
my
coming directly to you to get the orders, basically.
yeah. So
Okay.
it'd be like employee coworkers. And I went to the barber shop. I remember I went to the barber shop. I'll never forget this story though. This is why it's hard in business, you know. Went to the barber shop. I sold some cookies, And well, I gave out some stuff. I was like, yo, da, da, da. And they was like, yo, bring some samples. So I asked my chef. I was like, hey, can I use the kitchen? You know what I mean? And he's like, no, matter of fact, I didn't even ask my chef. I was like making the stuff, and my sous chef was like, yo, ask chef. He's like, he'll let you come in there and use the oven. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, hey, chef, you think you mind if I come in here and use, I got a big couple dozen cookies off, and you know what I mean? Y'all got the convection oven. I could slam big trays of 36 at a time up in there. You know what I mean? 3 dozen at a
Right.
time. Easy money. So I come in one day and I bake off on my chocolate decadence cookie, my double chocolate cookie, double chocolate crunch cookie, and no, that's just one cookie. I keep messing up the name. My double chocolate crunch cookie. I did my peanut butter cookie with the caramel on top, and I did I did my cream cheese cookie with a chocolate thing on top. So I went out the next day, and I sold everything so fast. It was crazy, right? All the cookies gone out the barbershop. Like people eating it, and they're like, is it good? It's like, all right, let me get this, let me get that. So I sold it, right? And I called my chef. I'm like, hey, chef, you know what I mean? I got to come back in, blah, 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 blah. And then so I come in one day. I wasn't on the clock, you know what I mean? It was my day off or whatever.
Right.
It wasn't like a busy time or whatever. And chef was like, oh, I didn't know you was here. He comes in eating the apple, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I got rid of everything, so I got to make it up. He's like, well, Anthony, I can't have you selling cookies out the back of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. I was like, yeah, I'm not selling nothing. I'm not even selling nothing here. I'm taking everything elsewhere.
It's because you're
Yeah,
using the property.
Cut that thing one time for the one time. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, man, that was
Should have
short-lived.
told them it was for your family, and they said, hey, man, I need some more. I got another family function.
They was not trying to hear it.
So what
They was
did you
not
end
trying
up
to hear it.
doing?
You don't know what it was. Business, sales club been slow, and they're like, oh, nah, this guy ain't making, you going to make money on the clock. And I don't know. Like, it's like people give you the opportunity. That's what you need. You need to like find those opportunities.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because they are rare. Like people don't. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna let you do everything you want to do. You know what I mean?
That is true. So after the cookies, well, when did you get into the infusions and the cannabis CBD stuff?
So that's really when I left in 2019. I didn't immediately go to Allentown.
Okay.
I was
So where were you prior to that?
I was still in Philly, but
So you just
I
in
left.
Philly. Okay.
I left the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. And like I'm like, even though I'm starting my catering company, like I still had this job app thing where it's called Paired Pros, where they like have chefs come in and they work, but you're not like on any schedule. You just check the app and you find opening. If it pays enough and
Then you
you're
just go
available,
type thing.
boom.
Okay.
So I was
And
doing
then-
that, bouncing around. And while I was doing that, that's when I was learning how to make the edibles.
Okay.
So as
how
I
did
was
you-
practicing, I started off just with basics like cookies until one day I had to get it right because it was not hitting. It was not hitting. And then I made my big my chocolate chip cookie. It was like this big. And I was like, yeah, these gonna be $20. And I was like, I had to test it out. So I'm like, I get up and I'm a smoker, so I'll be like rolling up. So I'm like, I'm not gonna smoke, I'm gonna eat, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna eat this cookie. And I think I ate half of it. And then like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna roll up in like an hour. And then an hour passed, I'm walking around, still chilling. And I'm like, I'm gonna roll up in like a little bit. Like another 30 minutes passed, I'm walking around still chilling, you know what I'm saying? And then like 15 minutes later, like I go to grab the Dutch to roll up. I'm like, you know what? I really don't need this. I am so high right now. Like it's a point, yeah, I'm literally walking around like who even does that? Like that's how you know you're in a different zone because
And
you're
that
like
was just
active.
half the cookie.
I was so active, like, and that's what's weird too about me. Like a lot of people be like, yo, they be knocked out off edibles, but people be having different experiences, especially when you get the right dose. So meaning like certain stuff is gonna like hit you low and slow, and if you're a person that maybe needs to sleep then that's what it's going to enhance, you know.
Right.
But for someone like me who's like so excited about it, like I'm excited about the cookie, I'm excited about the feeling. See, I'm energetic, so it just has me like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I get to enjoy it the most versus some people like who are, because when you're scared, like your mind feeds into that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
at the
that's
end of the
true.
day, I had people call me, told me they ate it and couldn't stop laughing. And I had people who ate it and called me and told me they woke up and couldn't find their feet. So I was like they got off the bed, they thought they put it down and no feet around. So, um,
So
yeah,
do you
that was
still
the
sell that?
experimental phase. Like
Okay.
even like people, I know was testing it. My roommate, I had him try it. Then there was the brownie era, where basically, you have to get it right with the brownie. Um, they hit hard and they hit fast. Some people don't. You know what I mean? You just gotta get it right with brownie. Your brownie has to be right, and then the mixture has to be right because they hit
Okay.
people too hard. I know people who have thrown up, people who have just panicked. So like at the end of the day, like it's like with anything, like you know what I mean, you can't be doing too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just have to basically know your weight, but be willing to experiment. At the end of the day, that's just how it goes down. It's like, hey, how much shots can I drink? For real, like you
Until
know what I
you
mean,
can't.
that
Yeah.
guy will drink 50 down there. My third one, I'm like, okay, guys, we gotta get up early. That's it.
The reality of it. So
Hmm.
when it comes to making the edibles, are you using like oils? Are you using the actual plant? Like how does that go?
So when I first started, I've been using the actual plant. I still use the actual plant. I have been dealing with Delta 8 distillate lately. One, because it's just you can use full spectrum THC and it's available more readily. It's legal in Pennsylvania, so
Okay.
you can use that better. I do still use the plant again, like I said, specifically for cannabis events where I can
Hmm.
like give people larger doses, and then also like I kind of instruct them too. Like at the end of the day, like what it says is like you have to give them a limit. There needs to be a limited amount. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
technically, it says you're supposed to consume a limited amount. So at the end of the day, I always let people know, like, yo, you consume the amount that you're supposed to consume. I got instructions on the back of my packages and everything, time frames. You know what I mean? And how long it lasts and everything.
Right. And that's where the licensing comes in, correct? Because
Yeah.
that all that stuff has to be shown on the package for the licensing, or is it
Yes.
something
So
different?
for it to be placed inside like a retail store, anything like that, yeah, you would have to have all of the proper information, nutrition facts and stuff like that. Um, the licensing is just registering with the state. That's a whole
Okay.
nother thing. What you're wanting, what you wanna, what you're want to be concerned about mainly right now is manufacturing.
Hmm.
That's what they're gonna mess with people with. You know what I'm saying? Because in
Right.
order to manufacture, you have to do it in the right facility and it has to go through the proper procedures. Now, at the end of the day, again, like I said, you don't have to do everything inside like a commercial space. There's
Hmm.
places you can go. Like I rent kitchens. When I signed up with the state last year, that was an issue I had. They kept asking me, "Hey, are you cooking out your house?" I'm like, no, no, not me, not me. I'm professional. So eventually, I had to stop cooking at my house.
Right. Right. Right.
and but I met this Spanish dude who owns a restaurant. I met this Jamaican lady at an event, and they both gave me letterhead saying I could use their kitchen anytime. Now, if it's a big
Okay.
enough event, I do go in there, but sometimes I do use my house for smaller stuff because a lot of it is prepping and getting stuff ready. And the big events, I cook there anyways. So I was
Right.
telling them, you know what I mean, when I had the conversation with the health inspector and stuff, you know what I mean, my business license is specifically for events. Like
Okay.
so therefore I can go outside, I can do outside events, indoor events, anything I want. So most of the time I'm cooking on premises. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I might do some light prepping, some par cooking and stuff like that, but that's how I'm up running the business. So and you can do that when you're catering. You can do everything
Right.
on premises. You know what I mean? As far as where you're keeping stuff stored and stuff like that, that's where having the restaurants available is in order. but you're really not keeping a lot stored nowhere because you're only getting stuff for the events. You know what I mean? Like unless you're running a restaurant, unless I'm like having daily, like I'm doing at the bar, but they have like a fridge and storage and stuff there. So, but for the event space, like you really, you really only need it when you need it, unless you're doing that much events. That's why they say you need it if you have a food truck, because then you gotta pull it up every day. You gotta have some place. You don't want to. You can't keep everything in the food truck, and you don't want to keep running back to Restaurant Depot every 5 seconds. You got a booming food truck, then you can afford a commercial space though. It has to make sense. You know what I mean? Like if you got a food truck, the capabilities of having a food truck and what you can generate would allow you to be able to get the proper storage space that you need. That's one of my goals this year is to get my money up for this food truck. Unfortunately, last year I had a little setback with my credit. So we're fixing that up right now.
Understandable.
And we're going to push forward on that because the branding recognition with a food truck is just ridiculous. Like from, you know what I mean? People do it with sprint vans, buses and all that. But all that's just wrapped in one if the food truck is your business. You got mobile advertisement. You got a mobile stop spot. You got anything you want at your event. Like you can pull up at weddings, and it's just you can do so much. You could be everywhere, and you can really start picking your crowds too. It's like okay, now I can drive to this event that got like 50,000 people, or got like 10,000 people, 5,000 people, instead of pack this car and go down to this one spot that might have 50 people. You don't know, you know. So those are.
And that's more for the catering or for the edible business?
That's going to be more for the catering. Like again, like as far as like the edible is concerned, I want to make it more like an event thing. You know what I mean? Like I have my website for the edibles as well. You know what I mean?
So people can order it offline?
Yeah, so people can order it online. And we keep that stocked up, but like it hasn't really been flowing like that. I mean, ideally, we want to increase that through marketing. But again, like I think we just need to target better people. And I feel like me being at these Cannabis events, whether they're a month or 2 months apart, or even at more public events and just more direct targeting is what I feel like I need specifically. Because like it's like throwing it out there in the ocean. You know, it's like throwing a drop of water in the ocean online, honestly.
Sure.
Like, because like as much as it frustrates me because it's like it's billions, trillions of dollars worth of potential, but then it's billions and trillions of competitors that you have to be part of that top percentile. You know, and I definitely feel like we have that. I'm missing some pieces to the puzzle. Good managing and marketing.
Okay.
Those two things would, woo.
All right. So I have a question for you, along with the edible sides of your business. Have you looked into getting your product into dispensaries?
No, because they're gonna. Well, edibles and stuff like that is not really. They don't really put them in dispensaries. Yeah, yeah. They use like the edibles they have in dispensaries are more like the liquids and pill forms and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong; they are available in places. I'm still a little confused about that myself. I'm gonna be honest with you.
As to why they don't have edibles in dispensaries?
Yeah, as to why companies do and companies don't. So a lot of it they say is the FDA not approving a lot of things, a lot of products. Okay. The thing is, like a lot of things the FDA don't approve still make it to market though. That's the crazy part about it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things. You'll see it right in the store, not FDA approved. But that is you want to buy this? So I think that's one of the reasons like I haven't approached them. Like, I don't like my skills is as a chef and they frown upon that. It's like you have to be real careful when you approach them. It's like medical terms only. I have my medical card, and I remember I went in there one day, you know, and I'm talking too much, you know, talking to the lady, and I'm like, yeah, man, I can't wait to try out this new or whatever, you know what I mean? And she's like, oh, you mean your medicine, sir? I was like, yes, man, my medicine, my medicine. I turned right around and walked away and sat down. Like, no, like this is not. We don't even have that type of conversation in here, sir. We don't talk like that. This is a medical facility. Period.
Okay.
So
So,
like for me to implore what I want to implore, I mean, they would have to be willing to do things that they don't think the state would comply with. That's
okay.
yeah. They don't think they would be able to get the stuff to do it because, like, I talked to a lawyer the other day in Jersey. Jersey's the best bet right now for me personally. Apply for license. Problem is, I'm not a resident of Jersey, so that messes it all up. You got to be a 2-year resident. But right now, Jersey's the best place. Minority-owned businesses, they're giving them licenses away, or you're getting on the list. You can do something. There's so many things you can apply for: delivery, caregiver, the license, and you'll get the license, and then from there, you do what you want. Basically, that's what people have been doing. A friend of mine who I met like 2 years ago, well, a fellow cannabis entrepreneur. You know what I mean? He had the green and he had the farmer. You know what I mean? Then around 2 years ago was when Jersey started getting legal, and he started doing deliveries. He's like, yeah, I got the delivery license. And then like a year after that, he's like, yeah, I got the whole. They sent me the other license. So the license for wholesaling and selling marijuana. Which once you get that, now all you gotta do is find a farmer, a manufacturer, a farmer, or whatever, and now you can start printing your products on your labels and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, there's no defining law that separates the business entity. So meaning like if I start a business and I say it's edible party packs and I sell this and I sell that, that's my business. Period. I just have to have the proper license in order to run it properly. So like we've been had our businesses. We're just adding the pieces to it as it goes along and keep running it like a business. So and now I know he has the delivery business and I know he has his own jars with his own labels on it and stuff now. But guess what he also has on his table? Edibles.
So
and the thing about that is you just don't, again, like those are really mainly, I feel like, for edible events.
Okay. Because the reason that I asked is because I live in Bermuda, in case you did not know that, right? So Bermuda just they haven't legalized weed, but they decriminalized it, so people stop going to jail for it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But now it seems like they're allowing edibles to be sold. They're allowing like the CBD weed to be sold, non-THC or very little THC, however it is. And the reason I was asking you, do you sell it in stores, is because there is a new dispensary. I'm not sure if there's more than one, but they only have like so many types of edibles. Like
so many brands
like three brands or something like that, and that's it. The rest is all CBD, like the weed and stuff like that.
So people have asked me, but no one's yet. I've yet to get a retail deal like that where I could like make stuff and put it in the stores.
I feel like that's what you
I've tried.
need.
People have asked me. I don't know if my numbers are not good enough. Maybe they might be a little high, but I don't. I'm unaware. Because a lot of times when you buy wholesale from these companies, they're not paying much. You know what I mean? But but to the point, sometimes you're not getting the best quality either. You're getting the glam and no oomph. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell you how many times my people have bought them nerd ropes because they look cool and told me they did absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? The package, I know the packaging looks cool. It looks great. But not all the companies are legit. You know what I mean? And me doing what I do, I know, like, you know what I mean? I could have a million people vouch for what I do, So, but yeah, it's just, I would love to make a connection like that.
Okay. So I'm still trying to get that company on my podcast. And when I do, I will make sure I give them your information, because I still don't the reason I want to speak to them is to understand the laws of Bermuda and how it is that they were able to open their business. Like that's my reason for wanting to interview them. So once I get them on the podcast, I will make sure I send them your information and tell them that you have the edible party packs and bring it to Bermuda.
From my understanding,
the laws are, I don't know how the laws work, but
Well, from my understanding, at the end of the day, so again, the stuff can still be sold as retail, regardless if it's FDA approved or not. That's one thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing is it as long as it has the legal amount of THC. That's probably what they're doing. So they have a retail store. Like I know right now, if I go to a smoke shop around the corner, there's products. There's Delta 8 weed. There's Delta 8 roll up. There's Delta 8 gummies. You know what I mean? But they'll tell you everywhere that it's illegal to make that stuff. But that's just not true. It's not illegal to make something, you know what I'm saying, as long as you have all the proper information through it. Right. You know what I'm saying? As long as you have it labeled proper, it's been tested, you have all the regulations by the state itself. You know what I'm saying that this meets all of our regulation, right? Now, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. At the end of the day, it's just about having the setup, being able to do that, being able to really go in there and do that.
All right. Is there anything else that we haven't discussed that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, my sauces.
Yes, you did mention your sauces.
Okay.
Sauces make a meal, so I 100% agree with the sauce thing.
This sauce, let me give you these two sauces. So I'm gonna be doing a Valentine's Day event in Philadelphia. So this is my heartbreak sauce. It's like a sweet
heartbreak sauce, you said?
Yeah, it's like a sweet and savory sauce. I don't know if you can see the design that much.
Yeah, okay.
You can see the heart is like falling apart. And then underneath it, we write makes that chicken finger licking. That's our motto, you know what I mean? And then they got like Caribbean flavor. On the back is like all the nutrition labels and facts and stuff like that.
Okay.
And yeah, we did this all ourselves. This is me and my VAs, basically. Me like, yo, this is what I want. And then sending me stuff. And I'm like, nope, that's not it. We sending it back until we get it right. And then you got my lemon pepper butter sauce.
Okay. All right.
So that one has the ingredients on the back as well. It's like a 12-ounce bottle. And like these are on the website, like the 3lcatering.com website. Okay. But like I do them, like I'll infuse them for like events. I haven't done, these are my two newest sauces, though I have not like infused them for events. So at the Valentine's Day, I'm going to do like the heartbreak wings, you know, with the sauce on them. And I have another thing planned. I think I'm going to do a sweet and spicy like jerk chicken.
Okay. So what other sauces do you have other than the lemon pepper and the heartbreak one?
So our number one selling sauce right now is the guava jelly barbecue sauce. That's like my longest sauce I've had. And then we have, so that's like a sweet.
Do you ship internationally?
Rich. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I might just have to.
I actually have, the only place I ever shipped, I did ship to Hawaii before.
Okay. Well, you're going to ship to Bermuda very soon, I'm telling you. I'm going.
Yes. You got to check out the website. Check out the website. We have all the stuff up there, all the orders. Yeah, the guava jelly barbecue sauce is ridiculous. Like I've been selling it all. Like I said, I just started at this place, so this is my third week coming up on this place, and yeah, that's the most sold sauce. That, and then I make the jerk chicken cheesesteaks, but also my mango delight sauce. That's a really good one. I use that for my mango delight chicken sandwich, and it's just a really good sauce, Mom. Like people who have eaten it, they eat it on everything. Like when I did Reggae Fest, those were the only two sauces I had, and people were going crazy. I was just grilling chicken and serving my guava jelly barbecue sauce or my mango delight sauce, and I had the longest line in the Lehigh Valley. You know what I mean? It was crazy. My people who was working, it was like, this line never ends. No, it was like the Lamb Chop song.
And that's the way you want it, though. Like
exactly. I had it jumping.
You want to be that store that the line never ends, because people are going to keep going to it just because the line is there, because they want to know what are they getting from this. So that is absolutely awesome. So are your sauces only for chicken or for all sorts of meats?
So they're for all sorts of meats. I know some people use them like at events. They've used them on just the rice and beans, because I've dealt with like the vegetarians. You could use it in a stir fry. Oh my God, that would be banging, like a veggie stir fry. You know what I'm saying? Put the sauce on top of it, like with just some plain white rice. And oh my God, that thing would be lip smacking. Yeah, so I've seen people use them for everything. Like, you know what I mean? And it was funny because I was at an event, and the jerk chicken cheesesteak. We had the regular jerk chicken cheesesteak. I had the guava jelly barbecue sauce, but I had it infused for my wings. And like people were just like, "Hey, yo, throw the sauce on the cheesesteak." And I was like, "Okay, infuse it." I'm like, "All right." So I'm telling you, they put them thongs on everything. And I'm like, I make party bombs, and I've seen people dip the mango sauce in the party bomb. I've seen them eat salad with the mango sauce and the guava jelly barbecue sauce. Like, because I did an event for a church one time, and they just kept putting it on their salad. It was like, this sauce is amazing. I sold 4 sauces that day at the event.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one thing I really want to push, and I would love to get them into stores and stuff like that. And people ask me like, what does that take? And unfortunately, I do not know at this point. I know like it does take brand awareness and a little bit of capital just to get certain things done. Because like I've watched a couple videos, but it's like the way they talk about it is just it takes money to make money. You know what I mean? And it's like, you gotta get your UPC codes. You gotta do this. And you gotta do that. And unless I find an investor, it's not happening anytime soon right now. I mean,
would that be something that you're interested in? Is an investor?
Yes. I want to say I'm actively looking, but the way my business proposal is written up, it's kind of funky and all over the place. So,
all right. So, I'm in this program called the Ignite program, right? And they make us do this pitch. Like, so basically, like you're pitching to someone to support your business. Yes. So I'll give you my pitch and then I'll let you give yours for what. So like, don't even think about like the business plan. Just think about how you're going to talk to this person. Because this is what I'm learning from this program is don't worry about a business plan, because at the end of the day, investors aren't going to invest in a business plan. They'll rather see a business that's operational. And if you have a good pitch, then they're like, here's your money. Let's go make more money type thing. So I'm gonna give you my pitch. And I'll let you, because I hate doing pitches. And if anyone that's at Ignite that's hearing me doing this, they'll be like, oh, so you're doing pitches now, hey? That's what I'm gonna get. I already know it. So basically, my pitch is, my name is Security Robinson. I am on a journey from unknown to unforgettable. Along this journey, I have created the Black Excellence Club. The Black Excellence Club is a community that I've created for melanated individuals to come share and learn and grow together, learning from people that look just like us versus people that don't look like us. And my ask is that listen to the podcast, share the podcast, and if you are looking to promote your business in any sort of way, we can sort out an ad space in the podcast. So that's basically my 60-second pitch. That's it.
You covered a lot of information there.
I did, right? All I can say is I'm getting better at it, because
it's a little
surprisingly
tricky.
I was not nervous doing it just now, but any other time I do it, I'm like super nervous.
So whenever I'm at these events, everybody says, yo, you're so good at sales, like you're so good at talking to people and all that stuff like that. And it's from watching a couple of people, you know what I'm saying? I will say David Shands, E.T. and a couple of people. Mm-hmm. But it's just the one thing people said to me stuck. You really have to believe in the product. And I really, truly, when I tell you these flavors are lip smacking, I mean that. And people can tell it, like they feel like they tasted it already. I'd be so excited. I'm like, oh, you never had this before? Oh my God. You don't know what's about to hit you.
And you definitely did that already, because you sold me your sauces. If you don't remember, I asked you, do you ship internationally? Because
as soon as I said that guava,
you sold me because of how you described it, and my island needs a little more flavor.
So, all right. So if I was to make a pitch to a business person, I'm just gonna go off the top real quick.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
Okay, hey, I'm Chef Anthony Rowe, owner of 3L Catering and Events. We're a Latin and American cuisine, and Caribbean traditional dishes is what we make. See, messing up already.
Tell me about your sauces, man.
All right, let's try it one more time.
All right.
Hey, I'm Chef Anthony Rowe, owner of 3L Catering and Events. We specifically make Latin cuisine and Caribbean cuisine. I'm here to introduce my lip-smacking sauces today. Our number one selling sauce is our guava jelly barbecue sauce. And the reason why you should buy it, because every time someone tries it, they buy it. So I know you will too. And I think that the world needs to be tasting these sauces. Like we come with the Latin, the Caribbean flavors. They have depth, and they're made for everything. It doesn't just make chicken finger licking; it makes everything finger licking. We have a wide variety. We have about 6 different sauces. We got from sweet to savory to spicy, and even a little bit tangy. So, I mean, I would love for you to check us out more. We have a website, 30catering.com. I also have an Instagram, Chef Rose Creations, and I have an IG, 30 Catering and Events, and we have a Facebook, 30 Catering and Events. Currently, right now, we're getting over 5,000 impressions monthly through all of our social media sites, and we're growing in views. And I would just love for you to be a part of that.
That was dope for your first attempt. Yo, that was, again, you sold me again on the sauces, and I will do what I can to try and help you get your sauces to Bermuda. Like, definitely. Well, if
Thank you.
as good as you say they are, after I get my first trial, I'll share it throughout my family, my friend group, and if everyone's on board, I'll definitely do my research to help you grow your business and
Yeah, I
expand
feel like in my
internationally.
business, because people eat with their eyes, yes, and the internet is great for visual, but that word of mouth and people actually experiencing it, I feel like that's more
Exactly.
the route. I did a lot of online promotion, and like it got me a lot of attention, but not it didn't move the needle, like so to
Hmm.
speak. It's like okay, now everybody knows about you, but like, do they know about how good the food is? Do they know the taste of this actual sauce? Have they had the experience? Like I've had like in the last 2 weeks. I've made more money off people coming back than people coming to the bar.
Mm. And
You know what I
repeat
mean?
customers is
So
where it's at, though. So they
exactly.
keep coming back. And they keep telling someone, and they keep coming back. Then you're
I know there was
definitely on
like
the
three
right path.
people the other day in the in the bar, and I was saying something to somebody, my one homeboy, and then like the two ladies who were at the bar, he was like, "Well, you know what? We only came here because you're here." So I'm like, "All right, the 3 people here, you two literally came here for me." And then they bought the peach cornbread, you know, and they tried the peach cornbread. They were going crazy. They're like peach
Um,
cornbread. I was like, people are like,
that's,
"Where do you come up with these ideas?"
I'm mad I did not get to link up with you while I was in Philly last year, but I will be coming back to Philly to try this podcasting round again because I'm making my rounds. And bro, yes, I'm
Yeah, no,
happy
we
for
definitely
you,
got.
man.
Yeah, we gotta connect and do
I
like
am so
some
happy for
live
you.
tasting and yeah, we gotta get.
Yes,
Yeah, we gotta have some fun with it.
definitely.
That's gonna definitely be dope. And like I said, when I had talked to K Walker event, he was like everything was a go. So like we're good, you know what I mean? And depending on the event, it could be a bigger event. Like it could be
Right,
when
right,
you
right.
come around, like because now I can get into the Cannabis events. Like I won, so I actually get to vend at the next couple of events for free. You know, it's one of the
Nice.
prizes.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, I'm
Congratulations. I'm
like,
so happy for you.
yeah, I'm like, I was excited. You know what I mean? I was just like, I really just was like excited because like I got to do something like really upscale that like I be, you know what I mean? Like I haven't done that since probably I was at the Ritz Carlton Hotel. You know, like because like it's not demanded around here. You know, like even with my sauces, like I have to like let people try it because people are like, "What do you mean guava jelly barbecue?" Like, you know what I mean? I'm so like sophisticated with like my ingredients and how it tastes.
Hmm.
I know this is good. My one Spanish friend, like we eat from each other. My one Spanish homegirl, like I don't eat from a lot of people, but we eat from each other because we know we both make good food. And she was like, "Yo,
Hmm.
I love that sauce, but I don't like guava." You know what I mean? But she was one day like eating this on her finger. She's like, "You should name it something different." Like, and I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't want to
But
deceive the
that's
people
what
at the
makes
end."
you unique, though.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, that's one thing with food you can't do. You can't hide what you're putting in there. Somebody might
Yeah.
die. You know what I mean? Talking about you're going to tell them there's guava in
Literally,
there and
yeah,
you're
yeah.
allergic to it. You know, you can't do that. You can't play with it like that. And I want people to know, like, you know what I mean? When the two ladies in the bar came in the other day, they got the hot wings. I was like, you got to try the guava jelly barbecue sauce. This is my number one seller. And she was like, all right, I'll take 5 and 5. And then as soon as she started eating it, she was like, yeah, oh, I do parties. Do you cater? Like, so, you know,
Nice.
and these are the
That's
results and just more of what I'm aiming for this year is really build the catering company up, straighten out the credit, and get people just more aware of Chef Rowe's lip smacking sauces and real catering and events.
Amen.
And with the edibles, again, like I just want to be more established. Like as someone who does it and who's like a can of chef in the field. But I want to create a solid foundation with the catering company. That needs to be my bread and butter. And then I can do the events like throughout the year as far as the
Mm-hmm.
edibles go. So I'm part of the field because for me, either way, I'm in the kitchen.
All right. So, anything else that we haven't discussed that you'd like to discuss? I know we went through the sauces just now.
Just check out the website, 30catering.com. We got all the non-infused food up there. We got my tray menus where you can order stuff. We do ship internationally, locally, all over the place, everywhere. The party bombs are a customer favorite. They're amazing. Basically, biscuits, lab bake, a Philly cheesesteak, stuff inside. It's an explosion of flavor, and that's why we call them party bombs. But those are great too. Easy to make, best sold fresh like at events. But yeah, we have a multitude of things you can order from the website, from sauces to chicken wings to jerk chicken to a couple of different pastry items. And then we have the Facebook. Make sure you follow us at 3L Catering and Events on Facebook, Chef Rose Creation on IG, and check out our YouTube channel. Got people there trying all the food. Like, I got so many people licking their fingers. It's crazy. I'm telling you, you gotta check YouTube channel out.
That's
It's
what's
3L
up.
Catering and Events. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share all that good stuff.
All right. All
And
right. So,
the
I'm just going
website
to
is
go through. Oh, sorry.
ediblepartypacks.com too. That's what I
Sorry.
was
Say
saying.
that one more time.
Yeah, the other website for the infused stuff, if y'all looking for infused things, ediblepartypacks.com. I
Okay.
mean, everything is on there from juice to cookies to gummies to cereal bars, everything you need. Infused sauces, we have those too. We're working on getting all these flavors infused so we can have them available for the website as well.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go through these last round of questions that I ask every guest. And the first one is, what advice would you give to 18-year-old you about what you're doing now?
Mm, that's a good one. Um, yeah, think about 18-year-old me. He was kind of stubborn. um, I mean, I guess I would tell the 18-year-old me to like buckle down and like the only advice I could give them at that point in time, because there's just a lot happening, would be to, I guess, seek a mentor. Find someone outside of where I was looking. I was looking in all the wrong places at that point in time. So I would definitely advise myself to just seek a mentor, and work on and looking for someone else to get some alternative means besides the means you were doing to get where you were going. Like, there's other ways to skin a fish. So
Right, right. Okay. And what advice would you give to our listeners on entrepreneurship?
mm, so one I would say is consistency. I know everybody always says that, but the reason why consistency is so important is like, everybody be going through what they're going through, but the only way you get through it is by being consistent.
Right.
There's always going to be something that comes at you as an entrepreneur, as an adult in life. You have to weather the storm and stay consistent, even if it's not as consistent as you would like to be, even if you're not moving as fast as you would like to move. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're going forward and you're staying relevant and making an impact from your standpoint of view, not from the world's, from
Right.
yours, then you'll be fine. Other than that, it's just, I would say, learn as much as you can, because that's how you become the best entrepreneur you can. I was watching Steve Harvey the other day being interviewed by EYL, and he was like, "Yo, you got to do it yourself until you can afford to not do it yourself." You know what I mean? Learn it, because even when you can afford to do it, what if they're doing something wrong? You would never know.
That absolutely right there. You are absolutely right there. What is next for you and 3L Catering?
So next for me and 3O Catering, there's a couple stuff going on, but I would say next for me, really, I'm just focusing. So I'm at Lumpy's Bar and Grill, Allentown, Pennsylvania, 212 South 15th Street. Anybody want to come through and get some food? Um, that's what's really next for me right now. Really, building my clientele and getting this website up and running. This way, I can save enough money to get my food truck. The next big event we probably have coming up is gonna be June. June is gonna be crazy with Juneteenth events. Like they got Juneteenth on the 10th. There's an event on June 18th. There's an event in Bethlehem, and Juneteenth itself, 19th. There's an event in Allentown, and we're gonna be at all of them. I don't know how we gonna do it yet, but we gonna do it. I promise you that. We'll be hiring a chef that day. We gonna make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the main things I'm focusing on. And even as 3L Catering, like for edible party packs, like we have a lot more coming up more frequently. We got the Valentine's Day event coming February 11th in Philadelphia, where it's like, can I be your Valentine? Cannabis PA wants to send me a message. The notifications popping up. I'm like, what's that? Yeah, so for that, and then we got something coming up March 3rd. Again, my people, K Walker Events. He throws a lot of cannabis events. Make sure y'all follow him on IG, K Walker Events. You'll see all the cannabis events he's doing in the area. He does pop-up shops. He does everything. And reasonable and good guy to work with. You just gotta find the right events and make sure it makes sense for you. Good timing.
Right.
Oh yeah, doing an infused food fest, which I've only ever missed one of those, and that's gonna happen in March 3rd. So I'm gonna get creative with that one, again, bring the lemon pepper out on them maybe on March 3rd. Just get spicy with it.
Let's go.
Yeah. So those are the two events I got coming up is the Valentine's Day event, the 11th. I want to do a brunch at night for the weekend, February. I'm still contemplating that, but I definitely want to do a brunch at night. Those are what I got working on for 3L Catering. And then the Juneteenth events coming up. And after that, we're just taking the city over. July 4th, anything. July 2nd is Reggae Fest. That's going to be crazy. Last year they ended up having 7,000 people there. This year they're estimating 15,000. So,
Okay.
I'm ready to go there and have the longest line again.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. What would you say to what would you say to your future self 5 years from now? So you're gonna come back 5 years from now and listen to your advice. What would you say to yourself?
To me now, so future me. This is an interesting exercise because I was thinking negatively, but I need to stop that. Future me is gonna come and tell me that hey, the food truck's going great. You got two chefs you can trust. Your credit's looking good. Like keep studying and applying yourself. I feel like future me is going to tell me keep studying and applying myself and make sure I fix the small things. Because a lot of times for me, sometimes the big things are easier to kind of like, okay, I got to handle this. This is huge. We got to get to this right away. But then it's like the little small things that you have piled up eventually hinder you. So I feel like the future me won't have that. He's gonna, he's gonna take care of the little things. That way he can be able to have time to take care of the big things. And that's one thing he's gonna tell me I need to do. Stay focused on taking care of the little tasks and stay patient because, your food truck gonna come. Sauce is gonna be in the store soon, and your website is actually making money now. Those are the things that he's going to tell me, and I think that's the advice that he would give me.
All right. Lastly, where do you see yourself and your business in 5 years' time?
In 5 years' time, So ideally, I would like to have my food truck. Well, oh, wait. Let me see. Let me see myself in my business. I see me having my own house, me having my own food truck, and a team of people that we travel around the state, state to state. We're doing catering events, and I'm still here, but I'm doing events like all the time now, and they're all profitable. And I would like to say, I would like my business to be around 500K. No, I see my business being around 500,000 in 5 years. So yeah,
being worth that or making
yeah,
that?
being worth that.
Okay.
Yes. Ideally, yeah, I definitely could see it being more, but I can definitely see us growing 100K each year just off the fact that of my research alone. You know what I mean? You can make $1,000 a day in food truck if you're in the right place. You can. We don't only do food, you know. Like I could cater an event and get a $10,000 event. So like, I just see myself doing those things in 5 years. I'm not gonna be. Somebody asked me to do something yesterday, and he's like, "How much for 30 cookies?" I'm like, "It's not really worth my time."
You said 30 cookies?
Yeah, I want to stop doing and I don't know if I'm necessarily. Some of these decisions might have to be weighed out a little better, but like I want to stop doing basically my new activity is like he was like and it's funny because as I'm talking I don't have no number, I don't really know like where I'm going with it, but I know what I mean.
Yeah.
I need to be valued more for what I do, and
Yeah,
I need to put a number on that, and it needs to make sense to me because I just feel like I've been putting more of me out than, you know what I mean, and not getting paid the work, even though, you know, we have to, obviously we have to take a licking sometimes and we have to put in the work. But in certain scenarios, when you're the one that's doing everything, you have what the person wants. No, you have to pay me. So he's like, yo, well, how much? I'm like, yeah, you have to at least give me $500. At least. Why? Because it doesn't matter if I'm making you food. It doesn't matter if I'm making you edibles. You're taking my time away. I run a business. I have stuff to do. Like the $500, you make it worth it to you. I'm not. It's still gonna be worth it to you. $500, whatever, for whatever $500 worth of product you want, whether it's cooking, edibles, whatever it is. It's just at the end of the day for me to stop everything I'm doing basically because that's what I have to do to work on this specific task. I need $500. I need a minimum quota in order for it to make sense for me. You know what I mean? And also in order for me to weed other people out. Okay, if you don't want to spend that, then I don't need to be working with you because this is the level I'm on. Period.
That yes. It all comes down to knowing your worth, knowing your audience, and knowing the audience you're trying to seek.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand business. Yeah. Business is business. You know, the vending fees they asked me for one time, I wasn't able to pay it all, and I sent them an email. Hey, can I send you $100? They sent me an email back. Oh, you must have not gotten the invoice we sent you the last couple of months. $600. Gee, no, you can't send us just $100. This is the price you want to pay. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not mad at you because I know I know what I'm paying for. That's why I'm desperately trying to just give you this 100 right now to hold on. But at the end of the day, I respect the price, and they gonna get that $600. Period. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna get that $6,000 off that event. You know what I mean? You have to know that. You know what I mean? Like it's like okay, you're gonna spend $500 with me, but you're gonna get the value for your money. I don't care if it's the value of like the sauces or it's the value of the edibles. It's the combination and it's the value of me, my business, and what I bring to the table, you know? And I promise you it is worth it. You know what I mean? On every aspect, it is worth it.
Worth it. All right. Do you have any questions for me?
Only like when does this air? Like where can I watch it? I know I watch you on YouTube and I see clips on IG, but just on YouTube.
You can go Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places you can listen to your podcast. You can find it pretty much.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. I want to start a podcast too. I've been posting all this stuff. I finally got my tripod. That's why I'm sitting here talking to you now. I'm like, okay, it works. um, I got this. You seen these?
Yes, I saw that recently. It plugs into your phone, right?
So I plugged it in to have this meeting today. You know what I mean? And I can't hear nothing when I plug it in. When I attach the Bluetooth to it, and I was like, "Is this
Ah,
working?" And then I was like, "Hey Siri," right? And she popped up on my screen,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm
So
like,
I
"It's
think with those, because I had something not portable, but something that plugs in. So you could talk into it, but you have to unplug it to hear it replay. If that makes sense.
oh no,
So you can like how we're having this conversation right now, you can probably record your end and maybe record my end, but you may have to have your headphones in so that you can hear me. If that makes
yeah,
sense.
that's what it's saying. It was saying headphones, but I don't have no headphones. It's connected to this, so I'm like, how is it? Unless I have
Uh
like Bluetooth headphones.
yeah, yeah, maybe Bluetooth, like yeah,
Oh
maybe
my
some
god!
Bluetooth
So now I
radio.
gotta buy something else.
No, but I mean, it depends on what you're trying to use it for, right? So if you're trying to do a podcast and it's just you don't need that. Like, you don't need the headphones. You just sit there and
I'm
talk. Or if
I'm
you're going
just
on
I just
Instagram Live
want,
or something and
yeah,
you
I just
want
want
like
better
better
quality. Like
quality,
I'm thinking if I'm
you don't
cooking,
need to hear anyone else speaking back to you. So in that instance, it's perfect. And then even for like your events, if you're going up to people asking like, "Hey, how did you feel about my sauce?" You just put it to them and let them speak. Or if you're recording them, you let them speak and you have a better speaker than the phone speaker. So I think it's more of a just a microphone than
okay,
microphones and yeah.
yeah, nah, I gotta get some earphones. But I gotta make sure it picks up everything. Yeah, because I gotta, yeah, that'll
Yeah,
be,
definitely test it out first because I know I've done that and it wasn't really working properly, and then I was highly upset. So
yeah.
next
Because
thing
in my
is
head, I'm like,
immediately
okay, it
delete.
works. I could do the recording, like if I'm recording
Yeah,
something, but that's kind of an airy thing. You know what I mean? It's like you don't really know nothing. You know it's working, but you don't know because
yeah,
it doesn't make no sound.
yeah.
But
It's all part of the game, unfortunately. But this episode will come out in February though. If you're
okay,
looking for a date, um I don't have an exact date right now, but I can give it to you once I'm done with the editing process and all of that. I can give you an exact date as to when it will air, which
yeah,
will
you
be
just
a Friday. So I have a new episode come out every Friday now.
okay, yeah. Just let me know. I'll post about it, and I mean, like, hey, everybody, check out the podcast, subscribe. And
Yeah,
hopefully we get some more people for you to interview as well. You know what I
most
mean? I
definitely,
definitely
most
know
definitely.
the cannabis community, they got stuff to say and they want to talk about. So I mean, I'll see if anybody's interested in having an interview as well. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Especially the people that I think Sunflower Space Cakes would be a good interview for you. They're a vegan cannabis company, but they're a vegan
okay,
catering company as well. And they travel all over, so like,
all
but
right.
they mad cool and yeah, black owned female company, black female owned company too. And yeah,
Okay.
they do their thing.
All righty. Well, thank you again, Chef Anthony Rowe, for coming through for the podcast.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Shout out to 3L Catering. I will let y'all know, my listeners, when I get these sauces, and I will give you my honest opinion, because he
Okay.
definitely sold them to me.
I
I'm
can't
definitely
wait.
sold. Sold. All right, y'all. This is your host, Sakutani. I'm on a journey from unknown to unforgettable, and thank you for listening.
Peace out, y'all.